Okay, Dimensional Door, let's see what adventures you hold for me. Oh no. What is that sound? What? Where am I? What's happening? Is that an eye? Oh no. I've heard rumors of this place. Hello, Jerbear here, and welcome back to another mod showcase inside of Dr. Nebanova's lab. How are you today, Dr. Nebanova? Well, that is good to hear. And today we will be showcasing the Dimensional Doors mod. Now, I have these things here, and these are all the items from the mod, and I'm going to explain each one and how they apply to you, how do you craft them, and stuff like that. So the first thing you need to know about is this thing. It's called the Dimensional Door. Now this is crafted like so. You need stable fabric and 2 iron doors. Now this stable fabric is made with this world thread. Now this world thread is kind of dropped by, if you know anything about this mod, by these things called rifts. And these rifts are created randomly in your world, but I'm going to create one right now. Let's see. I believe I can use the rift blade to create a... I must be wrong. But you can use this rift signature, and I'll explain what that does specifically later. But these things, these black particle things, will spawn in your world. And, you know, I'll just leave these for now. But over a few minutes, you'll see that they'll begin to expand and take up more. And those are called, when they expand and they take up more space and stuff like that, they're called wild rifts or uncontrolled rifts. And see, there's an example right there. It just got rid of my ender chest, and it dropped some of that world thread that you need to make pretty much every one of these items. Except for, like, the Transdimensional Trapdoor and the Rift Signatures and Rift Blade, stuff like that. But you'll see, like, the regular ones require... except for that one, that's a weird one on the unstable door, but the personal one and all these other ones, they will require this stuff. But before those get out of hand, I'll show you this thing. Now, if you see these, to keep them from spreading, because they will kind of start to eat up blocks, as you saw, that chest, it just ate it up. What you need is this rift remover, and you need gold ingots surrounding an ender pearl. And then you just right-click, and you heard that little zip sound, and it gets rid of it. You'll see now it's gone. Then I'll go get rid of this one. Oh, must have been because they're linked. But let me get another one of those stabilized rift signatures. I'll show you those in a moment. But the first thing you need to know about is this thing, the Dimensional Door. Now, it is crafted like so, with the stable fabric, which is the world thread surrounding an ender pearl, and 2 iron doors around that. Now, these create all sorts of these little pocket dimensions. Now, let me go inside and show you what I'm talking about. Now, this, as you can see, it just looks like empty black. Now, right behind me is my door. So let me just pretty much, you can build in here. Let's grab some cobblestone, you know. You can just place it all down in here, and you can pretty much build whatever you want inside of this little dimension. Now, I'm pretty sure they're limited, but they go on for quite a while. They're like these little pocket dimensions. Now, this thing, the Transdimensional Trapdoor, actually teleports you back to the overworld in whatever level you're in, and it needs 2 trapdoors and 1 ender pearl. Now, I was just talking about levels. Now, that's important to remember with this mod. Now, when you go into these iron doors, like they actually spawn randomly, and generate randomly in your world, with these little dungeon things, and they actually create a type of dungeon that can have some loot in it, but some traps, and something very important I'll explain at the end. You might have seen in the beginning what happens when you die in one of these little pocket dimensions. But keep in mind you go up or down, depending on which door you go through. When you go through these iron doors, you go down. Now when you go through these warp doors, which are crafted with an ender pearl and 2 wooden doors, you go back up one. Keep in mind what that means. And you place the Transdimensional Trapdoor. You just walk through that, and that takes you back to the overworld. Let's make it noon there. So those things, you can build all your little things inside. Now let's go down one more dimension, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. So we've gone down one more dimension. But let's place down one of these warp doors right here. And we go through here, and you'll see that, actually, well, I guess I'm wrong. These things will take you up to the overworld, depending on level. Now, really, it really all depends on just kind of what the game wants to think. Now, sometimes it takes you up, sometimes it takes you up too. It really all depends. But so pretty much that's those. And let's head over to the personal dimensional door. Now these are crafted with, actually, it adds in these things called quartz doors. And those actually, I think I don't know if you can use regular nether quartz, but I think you need the ore, so you need a silk touch pickaxe. And these things are a little different. They take you into your own personal dimension, but as you can see, instead of that dark world fabric I had before, as you'll see on that's what it's made of, this fabric of reality and world fabric. It actually has this altered fabric in it. And this is pretty much just like another dimension. You can build inside of it and stuff like that. And we'll go back through. That's how you make those. And the golden one, I think these, they actually save it. Let's see it. It's similar, but it keeps a pocket dimension loaded if placed on the inside. So I'm pretty sure it keeps it loaded even if you go outside the chunk. That's what's special with these. Now these are pretty much crafted just like the regular dimensional door. 2 gold doors except. And those are crafted like that. That's a new door it also adds. And you need that stable fabric again. So you will have to come across those rifts. And it's very important, actually. These rift blades will open temporary doors on rifts. Now, let's say you already have a rift. Let's use one of these rift signatures, and I'll explain with those. This will open doors on rifts, and I think it might even open rifts. Now, that is crafted with 2 of those stable fabrics and a blaze rod. Now, let's go into survival to see if it changes anything. Let's see. No, I do need to create a rift. Now, this rift signature, what it does is pretty much, as you can see, I right-clicked there. And it stored these coordinates right here. Now, if I place these somewhere else, you'll see it's created 2 rifts. Now, these rifts are linked. Almost like pretty much what you do is if you place down a dimensional door on the block you place that rift, and the block you right-clicked with this one, it will actually pretty much create a walkway of your pocket dimension between them. So pretty much maybe it's nighttime and you want to avoid all the mobs and stuff like that. You don't want to get killed by some zombies. Just, you want to go over to, for example, like a village that's, over in the distance, and you want a shortcut. So pretty much, if you place, let's see, what block is that on? You place a dimensional door on the block of that rift, and the block of this rift, it actually links the 2. Oh dear, I've gotten rid of that. Let's get ourselves another dimensional door. There we go. And, okay, now that we've done that, let's place another one on this. Let's see, I think it's this block. And, oh, that's the personal one. Never mind. Okay, let's get rid of that one. We need the regular dimensional door. Okay, oh, it's given me a stack of them. So you place one of those down, and now it's created a link between them. So now let's go through here, and you'll see it automatically teleports you to the other one. You don't have to go through one of the pocket dimensions. It's completely automatic. Now let's get ourselves a diamond pick and let's mine this up. So now you'll see, again, it creates this rift. Now, if I right-click with the rift blade, it creates a one-use door right here. Now, I'll show you what that means. No, so pretty much you'll see I've come back, but let's go back over here. You'll see the rift here, but it's not there. So you can use these to create a one-use rift with that. So let's set time noon again. So that is what's useful about these. And these, if I believe, they can also close rifts. Or no, I'm sorry. See, left click, right click. No, they can't close rifts. But again, that's what the rift remover's for. And all of these, as you'll notice, have durability bars, which is kind of unfortunate, except for the doors themselves. But like all the tools, like these things, they use up really quickly. And, which is unfortunate with those. And then I'll explain to you what these things are. Now, these stabilized rift signatures pretty much do the same thing as those regular rift signatures, except I think it requires you to have a stack of ender pearls to be able to use them, which is something quite weird. This is actually a pretty new thing in the mod. Okay, we've got our ender pearls. And that's a pretty new thing. So let's right-click our other location. And so now it's got some rifts again. Now, again, you can use your rift blade and create that temporary thing and travel between your rifts. Which is something interesting about these. But something interesting about these is you can actually place more than 2 of them, unlike the other thing, the other rift creator that we talked about. Now, pretty much it has a random, I think it cycles through each one of these 3. Instead of just going between the 2, it cycles you between these 3 when you use them. Now, as you can see, there's that world fabric again. You're going to need quite a bit of that world thread. That's what that is. Now, these unstable doors, these are some pretty crazy things. Now, that thing you saw in the beginning, that dimension, is called the limbo. Now, it can teleport you there, or it can teleport you to some random dimension on the overworld. There's some pretty bad things, but they're crafted with 2 iron doors, just like the dimensional doors, except you have a stable fabric in the middle. I'll show you what I mean. So let's get the unstable door, and let's press recipe, and you put an Eye of Ender, and you need 2 dimensional doors on the side. So that's how that works. And now I've pretty much explained the doors and their properties. Oh, and as you saw, it used one of the ender pearls when I teleported between those 2, when I only had 2 of them out of these 3. It used up an ender pearl, which is one bad thing about that. But it's still pretty cool. So, now, what I think we should do is show you what happens when you get to Limbo. Now, if you get seen by one of those monoliths, they're these weird eye things. I'll show you when I go to Limbo in the end. They're these weird eye things. They can teleport you to Limbo, and they actually spawn inside the dungeons inside of this mod. Now let's change to creative, and I think I'm going to try to go into an unloaded chunk and try to show you some of the dungeons. You see, because this mod has those dimensional doors, they spawn into your world. Now, it might take a few minutes, and I might even skip ahead, but we'll see if we can find one of those dungeons. I would really like to show you. Now, like I was saying, those monoliths can actually spawn inside of those dungeons, and they can teleport you to the Limbo if they open their eyes all the way, which is an unfortunate thing. Let's get rid of that there. yeah, they can teleport you to limbo, and you need to go down to the lowest point in the dimension. And then you need to find this stuff called Unraveled Fabric. It looks like red water. Now, the dimension is really dark, so it's really bad to go there. And it'll actually teleport you to a random place in the overworld, even though you can return back to the overworld with those things. I'm just going to skip ahead in the video, and I will show you when I find one of those dimensional dungeons. Hey guys, I'm finally back. I actually even had to load up another world, but I have finally found what I am looking for. Now you see here, it has the stone bricks around it like this, with even some chiseled ones there. This is what I'm looking for. Now usually they spawn with an iron dimensional door right here. Now this one might even be a temporary one. I don't see it on the other side like usual. Might even be a temporary one. I don't know. But let's go through and let me show you what this thing is all about. So as you can see, there are these dungeons, and you can hear that weird music in the background. So, okay, we can go back to where we came from. Whoa, that's some weird music there, but it has these other dimensional doors, and pretty much it gives you the ability to go down levels again. Now remember, these pretty much generate a random one of many different other dungeons it takes you to. These do. They don't create pocket dimensions, they actually... Well, they do create pocket dimensions, they just create another dungeon dimension like this one. Sometimes they have loot, sometimes they have traps. Now, like I showed in the beginning, you actually, when you die, you go to limbo, that bad place, that bad dimension. But let's go down a level, and let me show you that, see, you go down a level every time. Now, sometimes these pressure plates are bad, but I actually want to show you going to limbo anyway, so let's see what these bring. Let's give ourselves a diamond pick. Let's see if they bring us good or they bring us bad and kill us and take us to limbo. Now, every time you go down a level in the dimensional doors or through one of these dimensions, in ones you create or through these ones that spawn, you actually have more of a chance of going to limbo. Now, those unstable doors have great chances of going down. So yeah, see, I can actually die, and I'm trying to go through now. Let's see if we can go to the other end, and these are pretty dangerous. Looks like you gotta keep moving, but see, we go down another level, and we go in another dungeon. Now, there's these black things you might see warping through. These are those monoliths. These mobs, and there's the eyes, and if they look at you and open their eyes, then they'll teleport you to limbo as well. Now, this is one of those maze ones. Now, there's tons of redstone in these and things like that, and there's tons of possibilities with these. But you have to be careful that you don't die in these, because you do go to that bad place. And I actually haven't found anyone with loot so far. That's unfortunate. But let's spawn in some creepers. Well, not creepers. Let's spawn in some lava, and let me show you what happens when you die, or, like, if the monoliths see you, you'll teleport to limbo. Now, let's wait for that terrain to load, and you'll see in a moment. Right now, it's just gray, but there's tons of those monolith things here. Now, they will actually, if you're already here, and you look at them, they will teleport you to another random place. Now, what you want to do is you actually want to go down. Now, it's pretty random how much of this stuff spawns, but you want to find this stuff, like I was saying earlier, that looks like red water. But it's this stuff called Unraveled Fabric, and you pretty much have to go down until you find it. It's quite unfortunate that we are not finding it yet, but you have to go down in level until you find it. Now you can teleport here from going through too many dimensional doors, or an unstable door can teleport you here. It's even higher chance than a regular dimensional door. Or, like I just did, you could just die. Now, we're not having much luck. Sometimes it spawns here quite frequently, but see, there it is. It looks like a red water in this dimension. Now, something that's really helpful is you don't have any fall damage here. So it's pretty much kind of like the Nether with this weird generation. But you jump into this ancient fabric stuff, and as you can see, it's downloading terrain, and we are going back to the overworld. Now, something that's unfortunate is that we are actually teleporting to a completely random location in the overworld. Now, as you can see, we're actually stuck inside of a tree, so let's get an axe before we suffocate to death. Or just end up dying anyways. But as you can see, we've teleported, and it gives you this fabric stuff here that you kind of teleport on. Now, it's not supposed to work like that, but it gives you this Unraveled Fabric. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can't do anything with it. Let's see, I'm clicking you. No, you can't. But it spawns you back to a random place in the overworld, which is pretty unfortunate. But hopefully you better have your coordinates marked down, or you have Ray's minimap. But this is the way it works. And I hope you've enjoyed this showcase on the dimensional doors. And if you download this mod, if you like this mod, please make sure and download it for yourself in the description. There is one other thing I must show. This rift key, is something that I think will be able to lock the dimensional doors later in the future. For later updates of this mod. This is 1.7.10, and as far as I'm concerned, they haven't updated to 1.8 yet. But if you enjoyed this mod showcase, please make sure and leave a like down below. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, please make sure and join Team Jerbear for Minecraft videos, which we will have every other day. Like I said, I will like to have my other videos soon, like a new game that will be coming up, Let's Play, my regular Xbox videos, my modded survival, and mod showcases. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!